Start bench sell iconic video with my great friend Pedro. How are you?
Fine, man. Always excited for a start bench sell. What do you got?
This is going to be very, very bold. And we invite everyone in the comment section to give your thoughts on who should start, who should bench, and who should sell. And more suggestions of other start bench sells because we want more content here at FC Wonderkid. Like the video, it always helps. So a Portuguese edition, just because we watch the Portuguese live every week, the Benfica, Porto, Sporting. We always try to see the big three in Portugal. So a start bench sell between João Neves, Martin Højlund, and Alan Varela. Three midfielders in the Portuguese league that you should know if you don't know.
That's a hard one, Alex. And they're different type of players if you look at it. They are, but even their physical completion, it's different. True. But I'm going to go with my Portuguese bias here. And I'm going to go start João Neves. I'm going to bench Martin Højlund. And I'm going to sell Alan Varela. Okay?
Good that a Sporting fan is finally saying that João Neves should start.
And that is true. And I'm sorry, Sporting fans. But the thing is, I really do wish that Sporting had João Neves. Even though I don't know if he would do well in that midfield.
No, he
with
would.
Our tactics. Only two midfielders. But still, he's just class, João Neves. And it's not long before he makes a big move. And I'm sure this summer it will happen. João Neves is a bowler. He always knows what to do. His maturity is above average for his age. I'm not saying above average. It's exceptional for
Portuguese national team level.
I do think so. And he always makes the right decision. The pass criteria that he has, he just gets the game rolling, you know? And
he's been improving the pass. The more he plays,
that's true.
The more he's improving, João Neves.
And talking about Martin Højlund now a little, he's a player. He's a low-key player, Martin Højlund, and you don't notice him on the pitch that much. But I can tell you that he's arguably the most important player on Sporting starting 11. Mm-hmm. Martin Højlund.
No, Gyokeres.
I said arguably, and the thing is, Højlund is not getting as much credit as he should because there's a monster that's called Viktor Gyokeres playing at the striker position, which is. Gyokeres is the best player I've ever seen playing in the Portuguese league. So when you have a player such as Viktor Gyokeres playing in your team, it's normal that other talents such as Martin Højlund
shout out to Hulk
are a little bit more low key, but he's critical for Sporting's moment. And I do think that the pass criteria he has, he always does. He takes the right pass at the right time. He dictates the tempo of the game.
Player.
And he's improved a lot in the
and one thing too, Sporting were without Morita last season with the same team. If Højlund wasn't in the Sporting team, that would be massively felt.
But Alex,
and
Martin Højlund has grown exponentially since he has come to Sporting. He was already a good player that had good passing abilities, but defensively, he took a step up. Defensively, he can cover much more of the pitch now than he did in the.
He's a Denmark national team player now at Sporting. So we will talk about Ruben in this video too, Ruben Amorim, and the player that you just mentioned, Viktor Gyokeres. So try to guess the start bench sells that are going to be appearing in this video. I personally, Portuguese midfielders, I start João Neves, I bench Martin Højlund, and I sell Alan Varela too. João Neves is a generational talent at Benfica. He's one of the immediate impacts that I've seen at Benfica in such a short period of time. He's arrived, as João Neves had the responsibility to replace Enzo Fernandes, and Benfica still won the title.
I do agree, and there's one more thing that excites me about João Neves, that is João Neves steps up at big moments.
True. And against Sporting, 2 goals.
He's there when Benfica needs the most. When Benfica are desperate, he doesn't shy from the game.
You know why?
You
know why? Because he's a Benfica fan.
That's true. That makes a huge difference.
And you feel it. So the Benfica, the mantra and the way that they're doing Seixal, great job by Rui Costa and Rui Pedro Raj in my view. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Portuguese league, but I want to know, iconic one, and I want the Premier League lovers at home to feel this one. A start bench sell prime, Robbie Van Persie, Didier Drogba, and Fernando Torres. A start bench sell between these 3 absolute legends.
That's a tough one, Alex. But I will go start bench sell Premier League edition, prime only. I would start Didier Drogba.
Mm-hmm.
I would bench Robin van Persie, and I would sell El Niño Fernando Torres.
You know, I would maybe start Fernando Torres in his prime. In that one season that he got the 3rd place in the Ballon d'Or. Torres was special.
Okay, I can see your point of view, but then again, we're talking about a Didier Drogba that carried Chelsea to a Champions League title.
True.
And
with Di Matteo.
And Didier Drogba, okay, he was a late bloomer because he only came to the top of European football when he was like 27.
True. With Jose Mourinho.
With Jose Mourinho. And even there's a funny story that the Chelsea board asked Jose Mourinho, what players do you want? Give me Didier Drogba. Who? He plays for Montpellier. What's that team?
Yeah.
I don't care. I want this guy. And he came and he in short time, he was a legend for Chelsea. And
he did the same with Inter, with Diego Milito. Give me Diego Milito.
Good old time prime Mourinho, man. But then again, Didier Drogba was clutch for Chelsea. He was strong. He had that. He smelled the goal.
So
and
you
in front
put
of goal
Drogba definitely
ruthless.
ahead of Robbie van Persie. You know, I maybe put Van
Prime,
Persie ahead of Drogba.
I mean, if you're talking about a bigger span of years, I will put Van Persie ahead of Drogba.
But that season that Van Persie made Man United win the title with Ferguson, that was a power move to leave Arsenal.
Let me stop you right there, because I think Van Persie's best performance was as an Arsenal player, even though he didn't win the Premier League.
Consistently, yes, but that season, I think no. I think the best season he had was the Man United season with Alex Ferguson.
That was the culmination of all his work. It was just like the cherry on top of the cake for him.
And he's the last Man United player to have 26 Premier League goals in one season. Robbie van Persie. This may be very polemic, and it's me. I know sometimes I go with Portuguese bias or not, but there are no Portuguese players here, and this will be a bit dramatic for some. I will start Fernando Torres. This is prime talk, prime. I start Fernando Torres, I bench Robbie van Persie, and I sell Didier Drogba.
Ooh,
legend.
harsh.
But it's a very hard decision. Fans, let us know in the comment section what are your choices. Going now with a difficult one, having a Portuguese player here too. A goalkeeper edition between start bench sell Diogo Costa, Emi Martinez, and Mike Maignan. We got a Frenchman, a Portugueseman, and an Argentinian.
Is that at the moment currently?
Current
levels, okay.
Current levels.
Okay. That's a hard one, Alex. But I would say start bench sell goalkeeper edition, current value, or let me rephrase it, sorry. Start bench sell goalkeeper edition at the moment. I would say start Emi Martinez. I would bench Diogo Costa. And I would sell Mike Maignan, and I'm so sorry. I wouldn't.
AC Milan fans, French
I wouldn't
fans.
like to sell Mike Maignan, but the thing is, Emi Martinez, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated goalkeepers in the world.
You know, I would start Mike Maignan, Pedro, right?
Yeah, I know that. That's why I paused before I said it, because Mike Maignan has been class for AC Milan, and AC Milan fans lost hope when they knew Donnarumma was moving away.
Paolo
but
Maldini.
then, arguably even a better keeper came after Donnarumma. Mike Maignan has been in class for AC Milan, and is one of the reasons why they had such a good season.
True.
In the past years, winning the league, going to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
True.
All credit due to Mike Maignan, a star for the French national team now. All class. But Diogo Costa, when he leaves Porto, only then will people start to properly appreciate Diogo Costa.
Where should he go? At Chelsea?
That's a hard question. Even Arsenal, because I don't think Raya is the guy for Arsenal.
I think Diogo Costa is a better keeper than Raya.
For sure, man.
And much better than Ramsdale. English fans, please, watch Diogo Costa, watch the tape. He's a leader for Porto, and he's played more than 200 games professionally already.
And even with his feet, he's a good keeper, and he's very complete, you know. There's no such thing as a weak point in Diogo Costa's game. That's why I put him ahead of Mike Maignan, and a bit of Portuguese bias as well. But I really do rate Diogo Costa.
I start Mike Maignan. I bench Diogo Costa, and I'm going to sell Emi Martinez.
As well. We're talking about a World Cup winner.
I know. It's current. It's current. And for Aston Villa, he's very important. That just shows how much I rate Gyokeres.
And he performed one of the most iconic moments in the World Cup final. That save against Kolo Muani's strike at the end.
So I hope Gyokeres this season proves me right in the Euros and in the Champions League against Arsenal.
But even for Aston Villa, I think Aston Villa are really lucky to have a keeper as
True.
I don't think Arsenal should have let him go.
Oh, one of the biggest mistakes.
I think he would start easily
100%
start in this Arsenal team, and I do think it was a mistake. He's a charismatic goalkeeper as well, which helps a lot. Some people love him. Other people hate him.
That's true. And that's life, right?
Yeah, but it also helps sometimes. But when a striker is facing you, it certainly helps if you are able to mess with his head, you know.
True,
and that's why I also rate Emi Martinez, because he knows how to play those
mental games. It's true,
and he's really good at that.
Very smart keeper. I completely agree. Very fair point. One of the most important players towards Argentina winning the World Cup.
That's true.
So that's a bold one. Let us know your thoughts. And now here, a suggestion of you, and I like it. A start bench cell with Kvaratskhelia, Rafa Leão, and Martinelli.
Oof. Okay, Alex, so
someone's gonna get annoyed. And that's what you love about start bench cell.
Start bench cell, winger edition. I'll go with start Rafael Leão. I would bench Kvaratskhelia. And I would sell Gabriel Martinelli.
I start Rafa, but I disagree with you with the Martinelli and Kvisha. I would bench Martinelli.
Okay, I see your point of view, but the thing is, Martinelli this season hasn't been as great as last season.
Just like Kvisha.
That's true. If you look at Kvaratskhelia, the Napoli standing 6th in the league at Serie A
definitely
right now.
Not the same.
Napoli has had a huge downgrade from last season. I totally agree with you. But still, what Kvaratskhelia has done in Napoli for a season, taking them to the semis of the UCL, making fans believe he was a reincarnation of Diego Maradona again. Making them believe that it was actually possible for Napoli to win the Champions League, winning Serie A.
But Osimhen, it was Kvisha and Osimhen.
Of course, but man... But if I had to say there was one main man, it was Kvaratskhelia. And I cannot forget the season he did for Napoli. And I only placed him second below Rafael Leão because Rafael Leão is more consistent and he has proven this season, even though it's not his best season so far, he's still one notch ahead of Kvaratskhelia, and that's why I started.
Rafael Leão is one of the best swingers in the world right now, and Rafael Leão should start for Portugal.
And I do think if Rafael Leão had the right mindset, the right work rate, and the right consistency. No, but there's levels to it. I think he could rival with the likes of Mbappe. I really do think so. He has the raw ability, the raw footballing ability, and I just want to see Rafael Leão becoming more consistent because, brace yourselves, guys, I do think he can be a top 3 Ballon d'Or contender.
That's a bold statement, and he's got the talent to do that. Rafael Leão. I would love that to happen, and if people were saying João Félix was that player. So Rafael Leão, I think, is ahead right now in terms of that debate. So that's a bold statement. Let us know your thoughts. This is a winger 2, Premier League edition going back with that. Start bench cell with Eden Hazard, Mo Salah, and Alexis Sanchez in their prime. Who would you start? Who would you bench? And who would you sell? It's a big talk. It's a big talk. An Arsenal legend, a Liverpool legend, and a Chelsea legend. But there's levels to it, right?
If I'm not mistaken... how many goals does Salah have in the Premier League? Do you know?
Well, he's the top goal scorer ever of Liverpool.
Yeah, so
Mo Salah.
That's a big statement, and we're talking about one of the top 2 clubs in England and arguably the world. So it's quite bold if I put someone ahead of him. But I would say prime, since we're talking prime, start bench shell. I would start Eden Hazard. I would bench Mo Salah, and I would sell Alexis Sanchez. And I'm so sorry because Alexis Sanchez was so underrated when he was at Barca. So underrated, man.
But Mo Salah's best season, winning a Champions League. He's won a Premier League. He's a Liverpool legend.
But he was not in the same season, though.
True. And I consider Mo Salah... I know, sorry Drogba. Sorry Yaya Touré. But I consider Mo Salah the best African player ever to play in the Premier League. For the consistency... And he is marked Klopp's era. The era of Jurgen Klopp is marked by Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, another African legend.
I agree.
So, but that prime talk too. It's Hazard, Salah, Sanchez. I would start.
Be honest.
Eden Hazard, I would bench Mo Salah, and I would sell Alexis Sanchez.
So we're on the same page here.
We're on the same page.
I agree. And man, Hazard was such different gravy when he was playing.
The talent of Hazard, I don't think he's at the talent level of Neymar. For me, Neymar is the most talented player I've ever seen in my life.
But he was more prolific than Neymar. I think he would put in those numbers more than Neymar. In front of goal, I think Eden Hazard was way more clinical than Neymar ever was.
To do it in the Premier League, you need to be a finisher. And Neymar was more of a playful player in Barca. I agree. But for me...
And I think Premier League players, if Neymar would have played in the Premier League, would be tough on him. And I don't think he would succeed as well as Eden Hazard has succeeded.
But you agree with me here. Neymar is the third best player of his generation behind Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that's a fact.
I cannot say
Benzema,
for sure.
Modric, they won Ballon d'Ors, but Neymar...
I cannot say for sure. The thing is, if you're talking about the Neymar who played in Barcelona, I would totally agree. Mm-hmm. But after that, it was just a downfall for him.
Okay. It's an interesting one, but let us know, start bench, tell suggestions that you want to see about Neymar, okay? Now, I promised you that Gyokeres would be here. He's here now. You see the posture even changes of the man. So let us know your thoughts too with Gyokeres. So a start bench cell with Rasmus Højlund, Viktor Gyokeres, and the big boy Julián Álvarez. Who would you start? Who would you bench? And who would you sell?
That's a tough one, Alex. And just before I say that, because I don't know if you remember, but I've told you when City signed both Højlund and Julián Álvarez, I told you that in the long run, Álvarez would be a better signing than Erling Haaland. Considering the price tag, I think it was like 14 million euros for 20 for Julián Álvarez. Still, what a bargain. The guy is an amazing player. But start bench sell, striker edition. I would start Viktor Gyokeres.
Mm-hmm.
I would bench Julián Álvarez, and I'm sorry, United fans. I would sell Rasmus Højlund. The thing is, Rasmus Højlund has been in an amazing form, but he still hasn't proven himself. He's still lacking that goal-scoring ability that he has shown in the past couple of matches.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him do that consistently over the season because we're talking about a player with less than 10 United goals.
Who are the strikers that you would put ahead of Viktor Gyokeres right now?
At the moment,
Kane.
I'll tell you.
Haaland.
Alex, at the moment, I would only put one striker above Viktor Gyokeres. And no, guys, it's not Erling Haaland because Erling Haaland has been injured for a couple of months now. At the moment, I think the only striker in the world who is better than Viktor Gyokeres is Harry Kane. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate due to this. The thing is...
He's got 28 goals and 8 assists. Gyokeres, 24.
I don't see any other striker playing the way Viktor Gyokeres does. He has absolutely everything. He's the ultimate striker. He can be a poacher.
Mm-hmm.
He can be a...
facilitator, combining with teammates.
Yeah, he can be the second striker.
Mm-hmm.
He can play in transition. He can even play as a winger, goddammit. And I do think he has unique characteristics that differentiate him from the rest.
Who should pay the Viktor Gyokeres 100 million release cost?
Every club that has the chance to do so. I do think that once Viktor Gyokeres moves to the Premier League, you're going to rate him as the best striker in the world. And I'm sure of what I'm saying. He's a late bloomer. He's only 20. He's already 25 and only now coming up the ranks.
Ruben Amorim's helped.
But I do think it's impossible for a team like Sporting, with all due respect, to keep such a player. It's already a privilege that we're able to witness a team like Sporting having a striker that has the caliber Viktor Gyokeres does. But the guy is just another monster. He's a tank. He's super fast. One of the fastest strikers I've seen in a while. He has a Lukaku level strength.
That's bold.
He only sees the goal. He's a prolific finisher.
It's like a pro club's Haaland with strength.
He's a cheat. Viktor Gyokeres is a complete cheat code in the Portuguese league, and you can tell by his numbers. He has more goals and assists than matches. He has more goal contributions than matches. It's just crazy levels.
Other players have that too.
I think a player I can relate in terms of quality to Viktor Gyokeres at the time in the Portuguese league would be Hulk in Porto.
Hulk was the best player I've ever seen in Portugal.
Yeah, for me it's Viktor Gyokeres, but Hulk is a close second. It's not that far. And I do think even United with Rasmus Højlund, I think they would have more guarantees with Viktor Gyokeres in their squad, and even for Højlund to learn with Viktor Gyokeres.
I don't think they do that though. I think Højlund 17 million.
Because they
need defenses.
And
they need the defense.
Yeah, and the type of players they are, it's very similar. So that's why I don't think United would do that. So at the moment, I think of course, if Haaland is fit enough and scoring the goals, I would put Viktor Gyokeres in the third place. But right now, for me, only Harry Kane is performing better than Viktor Gyokeres.
So a bit of a disappointment for you on this sense. I would start Julián Álvarez. I would bench Viktor Gyokeres and I would sell Rasmus Højlund. I do believe he's better than Højlund this season, no doubt. But Julián Álvarez, no Haaland, no De Bruyne, 22 games, 8 goals, 7 assists in the Prem.
Yeah, Alex, and we're talking about a player who's conquered it all in the world football.
Exactly.
He's conquered it all.
If it wasn't for Julián Álvarez, Messi likely wouldn't have won the World Cup.
What are the most important titles in the footballing world?
Champions League, World Cup.
He won it. Libertadores?
He's won it.
He's won it. Premier League? He's won it. FA Cup? He's won it. EFL Cup? He's won it.
Exactly.
What else?
Exactly.
He's done it. He can retire. He can go home, take a nap, man.
Man City. Just extend that, man. They prioritize Haaland. I prioritize Julián Álvarez too. I think that's a good statement by you. Going back to the past, a bit of a throwback vibe. We had a bit of a debate, and it went kind of viral here in Portugal between António Silva and Diomande. And you've been chatting on my WhatsApp saying, Alex, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this because now Diomande is not unknown for English fans. They've seen the game against Arsenal. They see the reports of 80 million. Now they know about Diomande. So let's do this start bench sell with Leny Yoro, António Silva, and Ousmane Diomande. Start bench sell with these 3 center backs.
Okay, Alex, I need to think a bit, so you go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
A start bench sell with Leny Yoro, Diomande, and António Silva. I would start António Silva. I would bench Leny Yoro, and I would sell Diomande.
Oh, then. Alex, I can't believe you just did that.
I'm gonna.
But it's true. We're talking about a player who's not even starting for
Côte d'Ivoire.
So
you agree with me?
No, I don't. I don't agree with you because I do think there's more to it. I do think Diomande has had a fallout with the coach. That's the only
the Côte d'Ivoire coach.
Yeah, that's the only. Yeah, of course, the Côte d'Ivoire coach. That's the only reasonable explanation that I see for Diomande not starting for Côte d'Ivoire. But I would go. I would start Ousmane Diomande. I would bench António Silva, and I would sell Leny Yoro.
Start António Silva.
I wouldn't.
Start.
And the thing is, Diomande is the ultimate complete center back.
In António Silva.
The thing is
leadership.
Yeah, but if you look at agility-wise, Ousmane Diomande is better than António Silva.
Physically, he's better.
And that's why I think.
But not a lot much better.
That's why I think he's gonna do better in the Premier League. He has those physical traits. They adapt to the Premier League because he can face any type of striker that's in front of him.
I'd like Ousmane Diomande to go to the Premier League, but I'd like Leny Yoro and António Silva to go to Real Madrid.
And the thing is, António Silva to go to Real Madrid?
I would love António Silva. I think Ruben Dias should have gone to Real Madrid. If it weren't to leave,
he would totally be an icon. But then again, would Ruben Dias be what he is today if he didn't if he had gone to help from Guardiola?
If he had gone to Real Madrid, I think he still would have been a world-class
under the guidance of Guardiola. He has grown a lot.
And I think Ruben Dias is the leader and replacement of Kompany in terms of that spirit of the leadership role. But it's a bold one. We disagree here on António Silva Diomande.
Even as a ball-playing defender, I do think Diomande is better than António Silva. He can do whatever he wants with the ball.
Ignacio is definitely better, but
then
not Diomande.
Diomande is really good with the ball, man. And the long passes, his long passing ability, he can do those trivelas. He can do everything. And the ball just falls exactly in the spot he wants to. And the only thing I would say that António Silva is better than Diomande, not the only one, but one of the things is his focus, his mentality. I think he's one notch ahead of Diomande. I think he's more mature than Diomande, António Silva, and that might give him an edge when he goes out to perform at another level. But still, in 10 years' time, I think Diamant will be a better player than Antonio Silva is.
Will be seen as a better player, so
I do
that's
think
what you
so,
mean.
yeah.
Okay. Last one. I said I was going to mention Ruben. I'm going to mention him at the last. It's a manager edition. And a lot of people are talking about next managers. Who's going to be the next manager of Liverpool? Barca. It's a big talk. So start bench sell between Xabi Alonso, Ruben Amorim, and Thiago Motta, the manager of Bologna.
As players or as coaches?
As coaches, mate. If it was as players, Xabi Alonso starts.
Yeah, man. I think Ruben Amorim would be that last, but
And as managers, no? Xabi Alonso doesn't start for you, Pedro.
For what Xabi Alonso has been doing at Bayer Leverkusen,
30 games unbeaten.
It would be unfair for me to not start him.
Mm-hmm.
I would start Xabi Alonso. I would bench Ruben Amorim and I would sell Thiago Motta. And the thing is, I'm only starting Xabi Alonso, because the task Xabi Alonso had in his hands was arguably one of the hardest tasks in modern football.
He was 16th at the start.
Dethrone Bayern Munich with Bayern Leverkusen. We're not talking about dethroning Bayern Munich with Dortmund or even Leipzig, which are clubs that are used to being in the top 3 in the Bundesliga at the moment. We're talking about Bayer Leverkusen, which last season...
A giant, though. A German giant.
A sleeping giant.
True.
But that hasn't been performing for years now. And Xabi Alonso has been unbeatable for 30 matches in a row in Bundesliga, which is a competitive league with upsets all the time. We see upsets all the time in the Bundesliga, and it would be unfair. Ruben Amorim has been more consistent because he has been coaching for more years than Xabi Alonso. And I think they're very close. I think they're both amazing coaches, and they will do an amazing job after they leave.
Both may go to the Premier League, Ruben Amorim and Xabi Alonso.
And Thiago Motta is still not at a top level. He's doing well, but I would like to see him stepping up before he moved to a big club, for example, in the Premier League or even in Serie A.
I think he should stay in Serie A, Thiago Motta.
He will stay in Serie A, but I want him to have more responsibility on his hands, because to deal with the pressure. That's why I didn't put Thiago Motta ahead. And also, I've mentioned about the hard task Xabi Alonso has in his hands, and it's not done yet.
True.
But Ruben Amorim also did one of the hardest tasks, which was winning a Primeira Liga title with Sporting after 20 years of dominance of Benfica and Porto, which also was very special for Sporting fans.
And with a weaker squad than the one he has today. That's
true.
bold league title.
Weaker squad. Youth. Most of the team were youth players.
A lot of youth players.
You had Thiago Tomás as a striker, Nuno Mendes at the left back with 17 years old.
Porro and Nuno Mendes were the best fullbacks in the league.
Gonçalo Inácio with 18 years old as well. So, I mean, it was bold because he took risks.
True.
So they ended up working out, but it was a huge risk, and the Benfica and Porto had a much bigger.
True.
They spent much more on wages on the transfer market. So Sporting did none of that. They just picked up some youth players. Here you go, and it went well.
It went well.
Kudos for Ruben Amorim, my favorite coach at the time.
Do you already consider Ruben Amorim the best manager ever in Sporting history? I think so.
I do think in the 21st century, Ruben Amorim is the best coach that Sporting Clube Portugal has ever had, and I cannot speak of things that I haven't seen. So I wasn't born in the 70s or in the 60s, where Sporting were supposedly the best team playing in Portugal. So I cannot make that bold statement. But Ruben Amorim is the best Portuguese coach at the moment, and he's the best coach in the Portuguese Primeira Liga as well.
Bold. José Mourinho, bora lá, pá. Come on.
Man, I mean, I do love José Mourinho. I'm a big fan, but lately he hasn't been living up to expectations.
Ferreira
and
too.
you've seen... I forgot
Abel
about
Ferreira at Palmeiras.
But Abel and Ruben Amorim would be my top 2, and it's hard to figure...
Ahead of Mourinho right now.
Yeah, right now.
That's bold, man.
Even Mourinho, after he was sacked from Roma, Daniel De Rossi came in and he won 3 matches, and the 3 matches Roma played well.
De Rossi is a symbol of Roma. If De Rossi talks, a player listens. A youth player too.
Yeah, but just some chit-chat won't get you to win 4-0 over Cagliari. And I know that Cagliari is struggling, but still, it's a 4-0 win for Roma. When did Mourinho win 4-0 with Roma in a Serie A match? I don't recall.
I can't tell you immediately.
I don't recall. And guys, really, I love Mourinho. And I still have the feeling that he's going to do something special. And everywhere he goes, he does something special. He won an European title with Roma. Roma was titleless for years now. And even, okay, you can tell me, okay, at Spurs, Mourinho didn't win anything. But he wasn't allowed to play the final, the EFL Cup final. True. And I think he had something special prepared for that final.
I agree.
Because with Mourinho, he always has something special prepared for these kind of matches. And I do think José Mourinho is up to something.
Brazil national team.
I do think he's going to win a big...
He's in Portugal.
José Mourinho is going to win a big title before he retires. I still think that.
José Mourinho's in Portugal right now. He went to see the Benfica game.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I've inside sources that he went to see an under-23 game, his assistant coach.
For Benfica?
For Benfica.
So you think he's a successor for
Roger
Schmidt?
Nah, I'm just joking. But he needs to watch Benfica under 23s to know what's the future ballers that are going to come out. Rafael Luiz, João Veloso. I'm sure you know if you're playing Football Manager too. I would start Xabi Alonso. I would bench Ruben Amorim. And I would sell Thiago Motta.
We agree.
I hope Ruben Amorim goes to Chelsea to fix the mess that's happening with Todd Boehly. I hope Xabi Alonso goes to Liverpool, and I hope Thiago Motta goes to Juve. Because Cristiano Giantoli, what a sporting director he is. That man is doing miracles at Juve.
Yeah, and Juve is recovering now. After Ronaldo left, Juve was left in shambles, but now...
3.5 million. Thiago Jaló. Who pays that for a centre-back at that level? Juve, as it seems. Giantoli.
Thiago Jaló has been underrated for some time now.
Completely.
He's a Portuguese international, come on.
And since we're talking, just last thing I wanted to say in this video, we mentioned Xabi Alonso. The greatness of Xabi Alonso shows what players that he can make as good as they are right now. Florian Wirtz has 43 starts. No, Florian Wirtz, since he came back from the ACL injury, thank you FB Wonder Kids on Twitter, has 43 starts, 13 goals, 23 assists. And they've been
crazy
30
stats.
Games unbeaten.
Those are crazy stats.
What a player, Florian Wirtz. We should do a start bench sell in the next ones with Florian Wirtz, but let us know. Against who? And who? Do you agree? Do you disagree with what we said in this video?
And maybe if Xabi Alonso moves to Liverpool, he may take Florian Wirtz with him. You never know.
Showboz lies there. Showboz lies there.
It's never too much, man.
You'll have to spend that money in others.
I mean, when you have Curtis Jones in the midfield, you never know.
Nah, Curtis Jones playing better. He's playing better.
I don't think he's the guy to make it in the Liverpool
already at the end with these bold statements. But let us know. Do you agree, disagree? Like this video for more content just like this. And thank you for watching until now, community.
Thanks, guys. Take care.